Golf Central on YouTube, brought to you by the Chrome Soft Golf Ball from Callaway.
Hello, I'm Anna Jackson, and this is your Golf Central update. Well, Stanford's standout Rose Zhang has certainly exceeded all expectations for any tour rookie on the LPGA. Winning her maiden event as a pro and going on to represent the US Solheim Cup team, she easily qualified for this week's CME Group Tour Championship, sitting 24th in the standings and 26th in the Rolex World Rankings. And Amy Rogers caught up with Zhang earlier today at Tiburon Golf Club.
Rose, a rookie this season on the LPGA Tour. Doesn't really feel like a rookie season given all that you went through and achieved this year, but how would you describe this first season on the LPGA Tour?
This first season has been incredible. It's definitely been one of the most fulfilling times of my career. I've really learned so much just navigating, my team, myself, my golf game, and I think that I've really developed relationships that I can say that can last a lifetime, even out here, not only back at school. So it's been just really fun in terms of the journey, but I'm excited to see what I can do later on next year in the season.
Yeah, you were talking a moment ago in your press conference how much you have learned, from managing your time to caddies to just learning to say no, as you said. What do you feel like has been the biggest challenge for you in adjusting to life out here on tour?
Yeah, the biggest challenge is, to be honest, not only the golf game, but it's actually just everything that's not golf related. When you're strayed away to do sponsor outings and media obligations, it's very easy to take your mind off of the game itself, and that was the hardest for me. I only had golf and I was able to practice in and out, so that focus was really difficult for me to tap into again. So I'm slowly and still trying to learn what that's like and try to maximize my time on both the golf course and off it.
Now, as we move into this final event, the CME Group Tour Championship, in your mind, come the end of the week, what will have been a successful week for you?
Successful week is, to be honest, I just want to put some good scores out there. I don't necessarily care about the ranking, what place I finish, because at this point I feel like playing good golf is all I really want, and that's kind of all I want to look forward to.
Well, news today, after spearheading the views of PGA Tour players in recent years, world number 2 Rory McIlroy has notified the PGA Tour Policy Board that he is resigning his position as a player director, which he served for 2 years, citing personal and professional commitments. The decision comes amidst ongoing discussions to finalize the proposed agreement involving the PGA Tour, Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund, and the DP World Tour. So for more, here is Todd Lewis.
Rory McIlroy enthusiastically accepted his position on the PGA Tour Policy Board last year, not only to better the tour, but also to better the game in general. And it seemed to energize him. He won 3 times on the PGA Tour, including the FedEx Cup, had 12 top 10s, all while being the biggest voice against LIV Golf and, of course, the biggest proponent from a player's perspective for the PGA Tour. But as the battle continued, 2023 was a different story. McIlroy had a heaviness about him. And then the announcement came in June that the PGA Tour and PIF had come to an agreement to work together to form a new co, and that caught everyone by surprise, including McIlroy, so much so that he wanted to resign from the PGA Tour Policy Board in June after feeling a bit betrayed, but was convinced to stay on the board by fellow board members. And ultimately now in November, he feels like it's the right time to step away and focus on his game. Webb Simpson is in the field here at the RSM Classic, and he's also on the PGA Tour Policy Board. I caught up with him today and asked him to give us his response to the surprise resignation of McIlroy.
I was sad. I was disappointed. Not disappointed in him, just disappointed that, I don't get to continue on with him. He's a great friend. I've known him for a long time, going back to the Walker Cup in '07. But look, I got to say that, he's had a lot on his shoulders, being kind of, if not the guy, one of the main guys, kind of helping the PGA Tour, carrying the tour on his shoulders through through what's been going on in the game of golf. And the launch of TGL, And all of us, we're a lot more than golfers. He's got a family and he wants to be more around. So I know it was a hard decision, but respect the heck out of Rory. And yeah, I'll miss him being in those boards, hearing his ideas. He's a smart guy. But yeah, I didn't see it coming, and I was surprised.
What did he bring to the board in his short tenure, in your opinion?
You know, being a global player his whole career, he's able to see the game not just from the perspective of PGA Tour member, but how can we grow the game around the world? He's playing in Middle East, Asia every year. He's seeing the game of golf growing or trying to grow in those markets, and I think, you know, he's the most highly sought after player on the PGA Tour right now. So I think he understands the value that he brings, and also the value the PGA Tour brings every week in every market we go to. So a lot of wisdom there, even though he's, you know, mid-30s. But I'm sure he'll still be involved. I'm sure we're still going to consult with him some and get his help. We need it.
Roy's last PGA Tour Policy Board meeting happened on Monday. He was actually calling in from Dubai, and the meeting lasted so long it went into the early hours of the morning, close to 2 o'clock in Dubai for McIlroy. That shows the commitment that he had for the board. Jon Rahm is also competing in Dubai. He understands how much time it takes to be on that PGA Tour Policy Board and gave his reaction to Rory's announcement.
Oh, you won't see me there. Absolutely no chance. I've been asked a couple times if I had any interest, and I'm not gonna spend, I don't know how many meetings they have, but they're 6-7+ hours long. I'm not made for that. And as it comes to Rory, he's obviously been put in a situation where a lot has been expected of him, and I don't know the exact reason why he left the board. But I certainly wouldn't blame somebody like him to just want to focus a bit more on his game and his family, and enjoy a bit of the time he's truly earned. Right? Again, it's a big commitment for somebody to be part of the board.
Were you surprised by the news?
I'm not sure that really matters if I was surprised or not. Did I expect it? Not really. But again, I can understand why somebody would do it, especially with everything that's been going on.
Would there have ever been some degree of competitive advantage in Rory committing so much time over to the policy board?
Hard to say. Because he's been also being part of the PAC and PAC chairman, which also requires some time, and has done great as well, right? I don't know. I think, again, it is a significant commitment, so it could have an effect. Because it's not only the meetings, it's the phone calls, there's players wanting to talk to you, right? So those hours you spend on the golf course are a little bit busier. So I think it could hinder a little bit. There's a reason probably why I can't recall any great player being a full-time board member while they're winning many tournaments and majors at the same time, at least in recent history. So I don't know if there ever was somebody. Maybe Jack and Arnie when they created the PGA Tour, but I can see how, you know, the lack of sleep and added stress can definitely hinder a little bit your ability to compete.
Peter Malnati and Charlie Hoffman are also in the field here at the RSM Classic, and they too are PGA Tour Policy Board members. They told me they will miss Rory's enthusiasm and his intelligence in those board meetings. And of course, it is a big blow to have Rory McIlroy off the PGA Tour Policy Board, but let's not forget, Tiger Woods was appointed to the policy board back in August, and of course he will have a huge influence.